Chosen one. Heaven has been watching. You thought today was ordinary, but the very act you took quiet, unseen by most, was thunder in the spirit. Heaven paused. The wind itself held its breath. Because what you finally did today wasn't random, it was obedience. It was alignment. It was the moment when faith became motion, and motion became worship. You see, heaven does not celebrate perfection, it celebrates surrender. And today, your surrender sang louder than every failure that ever tried to define you. You could have delayed again. You could have excused yourself like before. But something within you whispered, no more waiting. You felt it, the holy tension between comfort and calling. And when you said yes, even in trembling, God was delighted. Listen carefully. Chosen one. Every angel assigned to your life marked this day. You might have felt small while doing it, but heaven saw a giant rise. What you did today broke silence in the spirit. Your yes sent tremors through the kingdom of darkness. That is why you felt resistance before it, because obedience always irritates the enemy. But you pushed through anyway. What you didn't see was how your decision formed light around you. Heaven's courts recorded it as testimony. And the Father, who weighs hearts, leaned close and said, "That's my child. For too long, you've wondered if your efforts mattered." Today was the answer. It wasn't about performance, it was about presence. God saw your heart align with His, and that delights Him more than you will ever know. You have no idea how powerful that single act was. When you obey in private, heaven rewards you in public. When you say yes in weakness, strength flows from the throne into your soul. You thought you were just following a nudge, but that nudge was a divine command wrapped in gentleness. Heaven does not underestimate small beginnings, and neither should you. Look around you right now. Even the air feels different, doesn't it? That's because obedience shifts atmospheres. When you said yes, light entered the very space around you. Chains you didn't even know existed began to break. Every delay, every wait, every confusion started to crumble. You have stepped into divine rhythm, and heaven is rejoicing. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 9, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him." Chosen one, heaven sees your love and your obedience. You don't need applause, for heaven itself has already clapped. You don't need validation, because divine confirmation has already been spoken. The Father delights not just in the result, but in the courage it took to move. And now, everything begins to align. Doors will open that were once sealed. Clarity will replace confusion. Peace will silence fear. You didn't just act today, you activated destiny. The heavens are shifting in your favor. Angels are carrying new instructions concerning you. God Himself has whispered your name again in joy. Do you feel that warmth rising inside you right now? That's the pleasure of heaven resting on you. This is the beginning of a new era for your spirit. What delighted God today will sustain you tomorrow. Keep walking in that obedience, even when no one sees it. Keep saying yes, even when it costs you. Because every yes builds a bridge between where you are and where God is calling you to be. Heaven took notice. Chosen one, and so should you. You are not just living, you are fulfilling prophecy. Your obedience today echoes in eternity. Now, if this message resonated in your spirit, take a moment. Don't scroll. Don't rush. Like this message to declare alignment. Share it so another chosen one may awaken. Comment the number 777 below as a prophetic act that says, "Heaven has noticed me too." And if you haven't yet, subscribe to stay connected to the flow of divine revelation that keeps your spirit alive. Heaven saw you today, and God smiled. You thought it was small, almost insignificant, a whisper of obedience, a simple act of kindness, a decision that no one applauded. Yet in the unseen realms, that moment thundered. The small act you made today, chosen one, shook the very foundations of spiritual resistance that once surrounded you. What looked small in your hands was mighty in the hands of heaven. The kingdom of God is built upon moments like this, not grand gestures, but quiet alignments. Every time you obey without seeking recognition, you prove that love, not pride, leads your actions. And heaven celebrates such purity. The enemy underestimated your small step, but that's what always defeats him, the humility he can't comprehend. For humility, when fueled by obedience, becomes an unstoppable force in the spirit. Beloved, you didn't just do something right today, you did something righteous. You acted according to heaven's heartbeat, not man's approval. There are times when your greatest victories come wrapped in silence. Today was such a time. While the world busied itself with noise, you listened to the still, small voice, and in that listening, you found power. The spiritual realm shifted when you moved. Your single act released a fragrance that rose before the throne of God like incense. That fragrance was your faith, pure, unseen, yet undeniable. It told heaven that you are still available, still willing, still yielded, and God is delighted with that. Sometimes you wonder why heaven doesn't always respond with thunder or visible signs. But listen closely, heaven often responds with peace. The calm that followed your obedience wasn't emptiness, it was affirmation. The stillness you felt afterward was heaven's applause. For God rarely needs to shout to those who have learned to listen in the quiet. What you did today may never make headlines, but it made history in heaven's archives. You aligned a moment in time with eternal intention. You said, "Yes, Lord," and the spiritual world bowed in acknowledgement. You must understand, chosen one, that God's delight is not transactional, it's relational. He delights in the ones who obey because their obedience flows from love. Every act you do out of love writes your name deeper into the story heaven is telling. You are becoming part of a divine pattern, small acts leading to great victories. Think of David tending sheep, Ruth gleaning in a field, Esther walking toward the throne. None of them saw the full picture when they began, yet heaven did. The same is true for you. That small obedience today might be the seed of a miracle tomorrow. According to what is revealed in the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 10, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." Yes, the Lord rejoices not merely at completion, but at commencement, when you dare to start, to move, to trust again. Heaven does not wait until the outcome is visible to celebrate you. It rejoices the moment you begin, because in that beginning faith is proven. So keep this truth close to your heart. Your faith in motion is more powerful than fear in silence. Every time you choose obedience, even when uncertain, heaven moves with you. Your smallest act in faith is louder than the greatest sermon without it. Let this be sealed in your spirit tonight. What you did was not overlooked. The unseen world trembled, light pierced through layers of darkness, and the Father smiled once more. For the humble act you thought unnoticed became a trumpet blast in eternity. Euducum, chosen one, just proved that small steps in faith can shake great realms. There is something sacred about obedience that costs you something. It strips away pride, silences doubt, and exposes the raw truth of your faith. When you chose to obey today, chosen one, you offered God something greater than sacrifice. You offered trust. You didn't just act, you surrendered your understanding, and heaven was moved by that. Obedience has always been the true language of love. God doesn't ask for perfection, He asks for participation. He invites you to walk when you can't see the whole path, to believe when the evidence is missing, to act when the outcome is uncertain. That's why your obedience carries such power. It proves that you trust His character even when you can't trace His plan. Beloved, you may not realize it yet, but you fulfilled prophecy in motion today. Every act of obedience rewrites the spiritual landscape. You are walking a path once walked by Abraham, who obeyed without knowing where he was going, by Mary, who said yes without fully understanding how it would unfold. What you did today echoes their faith, and heaven honors you for it. In the kingdom, obedience is greater than display. Many shout, but few follow. Many promise, but few persist. But you quiet, steadfast, faithful did what few would do. You obeyed when it would have been easier to delay. You chose surrender when rebellion whispered comfort. You chose God's way over your own, and that choice made history in heaven's eyes. The beauty of obedience is that it transforms you from the inside out. You cannot obey God and remain unchanged. Every yes reshapes your soul, refines your motives, and deepens your awareness of His presence. The moment you obeyed, heaven didn't just record your action, it began to rebuild something in your spirit. We are reminded through the writings of Samuel in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Did you catch that? Chosen one to obey is better. That means every time you choose obedience over convenience, you are stepping into something better, better peace, better clarity, better alignment with heaven's plan. God never wastes an act of obedience. Even if no one saw it, heaven did. Your obedience carries sound in the spirit. It declares, I trust you, God. It silences the accuser who said you'd give up. It embarrasses darkness that once mocked your faith. When you said yes, every demon that plotted your downfall heard your faith roar louder than their lies. And now, heaven prepares to respond. You've sown obedience, and the harvest will be divine favor. The next steps will open naturally, because God always leads those who walk in His will. So don't worry about what comes next. Obedience has already paved the way. Now, chosen one, as you read these words, let your heart affirm your decision again. Let the heavens hear it once more. Comment below the phrase, I choose my crown. This simple declaration is more than words. It is an echo of surrender, a visible sign that you refuse to forfeit your calling. When you type those words, you're not just engaging, you're prophesying. You're saying, I accept responsibility for my destiny. I will walk in obedience no matter the cost. Remember, crowns are not handed to the comfortable, they're placed upon those who endured, obeyed, and believed. You are one of them. You've stepped into divine rhythm, and nothing can stop what God has begun in you. Keep walking, even when the road feels quiet. Keep trusting, even when you can't see the end. The Father delights in your obedience more than you'll ever understand. And today, heaven's delight rests upon you. Before you acted today, there was a battle that raged where eyes could not see. It was not a battle of flesh and blood, but of will and spirit. The darkness whispered hesitation, feeding your mind with doubts, fears, and endless what-ifs. Every reason to delay was handed to you like a convenient excuse. But something stronger rose from within you, faith, courage, and holy stubbornness. You may not have realized it then, but you were standing in the middle of a war. Obedience is never born without resistance. The moment heaven gives a command, hell launches a distraction. And yet, You pressed forward. That quiet moment when you decided to act was not a small victory, it was an overthrow. You dethroned fear, silenced confusion, and chose allegiance to God over comfort. The spiritual atmosphere shifted because one chosen soul refused to bow to hesitation. You must understand this. Chosen one. Every act of obedience begins as a battlefield of thought. The mind becomes the arena where heaven's whisper meets hell's argument. The enemy always tries to make you question what God clearly said. But you, strengthened by unseen grace, chose to believe. That belief became your sword. You were not just making a decision, you were waging war. When you stepped forward, you declared that faith would lead, not fear. You said to the darkness, "You will not rule me anymore." That defiance of doubt made heaven roar with joy. The reason obedience feels heavy at first is because it carries spiritual weight. It tears down invisible altars of resistance. It disarms lies that once shaped your identity. And though you felt anxious or unsure, what truly happened was a release of spiritual authority. You stood your ground, and the enemy retreated. There are moments in your journey that heaven celebrates in silence, not because it is indifferent, but because heaven knows you are growing into dominion. You fought today not with words, but with will. Every hesitation you overcame became a testimony written in the language of heaven, faithfulness under fire. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 19. They will fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you, for I am with you, declares the Lord, to deliver you. That promise is not a distant one, it belongs to you. You faced resistance, but it did not prevail. You felt pressure, but you were not crushed. God Himself stood beside you in that unseen battlefield. Your strength came not from your own resolve, but from His steady hand upon your soul. Remember this truth: if the enemy fought you so fiercely, it's because he feared what your obedience would unlock. Every ounce of resistance you faced was proof of the power hidden in your action. Hell never attacks the irrelevant, it only attacks the obedient. So do not mistake warfare for abandonment. The struggle before obedience is often the sign that you're about to shift something eternal. Today, you proved that the pressure could not break you. You walked through fire and came out refined, not burned. Your obedience has now become a weapon. The same darkness that tried to silence you must now bow to the authority of your yes. You've crossed a threshold where hesitation no longer controls you. Heaven trusts you with greater assignments because you've proven your faith is stronger than fear. Rest tonight, chosen one. You have fought well. You may feel weary, but your soul is radiant with victory. The unseen realm recognizes you as one who stood when others would have fallen. And now, the same Spirit who empowered your obedience will guard what you gained. You fought, you obeyed, and you won. Heaven's archives are not written with ink and paper. Chosen one, they are written with light. Every act of obedience, every tear of surrender, every step taken in faith glows there like a star in the record of eternity. And today, a new light appeared beside your name. The moment you obeyed, angels recorded it not as a duty completed, but as love fulfilled. Think of it this way: the heavens are like an artist's canvas. Each soul that chooses obedience adds color to the divine masterpiece. Your action today was a brushstroke of gold across that eternal painting. It may have seemed small, but from heaven's perspective, it was radiant. Heaven does not measure size, it measures sincerity. You see, the courts of heaven witnessed what you did. Angels leaned in. The cloud of witnesses smiled, and the Father Himself whispered your name with joy. For in that moment, you didn't just obey, you trusted. You trusted His timing, His voice, His unseen plan. That trust is what delights Him most. You might have felt like no one noticed, but heaven noticed everything. God doesn't overlook faithful hearts, He celebrates them. And the act you did today, no matter how quiet, became evidence of faith on record. The universe itself is now echoing your obedience like a ripple across an endless sea. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 4, "Your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you openly." Those words still breathe today. What you did in secret, heaven will magnify in due season. You will see fruit where you once saw failure, restoration where you once saw ruin. God will not let your obedience fade into silence, it will blossom into blessing. You are part of a divine rhythm now. Chosen one. Each act of surrender is like a seed. When planted in faith, it grows into something larger than your lifetime. And every seed needs light, water, and care. That's why staying connected matters. The words you hear here, the prophetic messages, the divine reminders are like sunlight to that seed within you. They nourish what heaven has begun. If this message has touched your spirit, let it not stop with you. Like it not for vanity, but as a way of saying, "I agree with heaven's truth." Share it so that another weary soul might be reminded that their hidden obedience still matters. Subscribe if you want to remain close to this flow of anointing that feeds your faith, week after week. And if your heart feels moved, consider planting a donation seed not out of pressure, but as an act of faith. Every seed sown helps keep the light burning, reaching others who may be one message away from hope. Think of it as adding another flame to a lantern in a dark valley, your light helping another traveler find their way home. Heaven records every act done with a pure heart. Whether it's your obedience, your sharing, or your giving, it all becomes part of your eternal testimony. You're not just supporting a message, you're expanding a mission. You're saying, "God, I want your voice to reach further," and heaven smiles at such generosity of spirit. Chosen one. Remember, obedience never ends in emptiness. The same God who took note of your act today is also the one who multiplies every seed of love you release. You are building eternal treasure, crafting a legacy of faith that cannot be stolen. So keep shining, keep sowing, so keep trusting. For heaven is seen, recorded, and rejoiced over what you did. The pages of eternity bear your name in golden light, written by the hand of love itself. What delighted God today was not the outward form of your action, but the heart behind it. Heaven does not measure gestures, it measures motives. And when you acted in obedience, you did so not for reward, not for applause, but because you loved Him. That love was the true offering, the fragrance that rose before His throne and filled heaven with joy. You must understand, chosen one, that the heart is heaven's true altar. It is there that worship begins long before hands move or words are spoken. Your heart has been a battlefield for years between faith and fear, surrender and control. But today, something shifted. You gave God not just your time, not just your effort, you gave Him your heart again. And that, above all else, is what delighted Him most. In that moment, your spirit whispered what words could not express, "Here I am, Lord, even if I don't understand everything." That whisper was more powerful than 1,000 songs sung without sincerity. It was worship in its purest form. Heaven saw how hard it was for you to let go of control. How many times you tried to plan your way, to predict outcomes, to protect yourself from disappointment. But when you finally surrendered, when you laid your plans before God, you created space for miracles to move. Your heart became an open field where the divine could plant new dreams. The soil of your surrender is where destiny grows. And the angels rejoiced. Not because of what you achieved, but because of who you became, one who trusts again. one who loves without fear. The voice of God thundered in the book of Ezekiel. Chapter 36, verse 26. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. That is exactly what happened today. The old hardness born of pain, disappointment, and betrayal began to crack. The stony layers that once made it hard to feel or believe again began to fall away. And beneath it, heaven found something soft, alive, and beautiful. You became tender again to the whisper of the Spirit. That tenderness is what delights God the most. Do you feel it, chosen one? That quiet peace that came afterward, that was not emptiness, it was God breathing new life into you. You may have thought you were giving something up, but in truth, you were being renewed. He was exchanging your weary heart for one that beats in rhythm with heaven's will. This transformation is not visible to the world, but all of heaven has witnessed it. Every angel assigned to your journey has rejoiced. For now you are walking in purity of intention. When your heart is clean, every step you take carries the fragrance of heaven. You no longer act out of fear or pressure, but out of love, and love never fails. God's delight is not found in perfection, but in presence. When you choose to be real with Him, to weep, to worship, to wait. He draws near. The world may not understand this intimacy, but heaven calls it worship. You've stepped into the secret place, where obedience becomes romance and faith becomes friendship. And now, as you stand in this holy awareness, let your spirit mark this moment. Comment below the number 444, a prophetic sign that says, "My heart belongs to the Lord again." When you type that number, you're not just interacting, you're agreeing with heaven. You're saying, "Yes, God has touched my heart anew. I choose softness over pride, trust over fear." And heaven takes note of every declaration made in faith. Keep this truth close. Chosen one, the greatest gift you can ever give God is a surrendered heart. You gave Him that today, and heaven rejoices still. What you did today, though simple in form, opened doors that have been locked for years. You may not see it yet, but the spiritual chain reaction has already begun. Heaven moves through obedience like rivers through dry valleys it fills. It restores. It brings life where there was once barrenness. The moment you acted, the spiritual gates of favor began to swing open. There are moments in life that look ordinary but carry eternal significance. Today was one of them. Your obedience released something powerful, divine acceleration. Where things once took months or years, God can now move in days. Where you once struggled for progress, you will now glide with grace. The same way sunlight breaks through clouds, your obedience has broken through resistance. You might not hear trumpets or see angels with your eyes, but their movement has already surrounded you. Every time you choose God's way, angels are dispatched with new instructions. Heaven never leaves obedience unanswered. It responds with favor, with provision, with divine timing that reorders everything around you. What you unlock today will not only bless you, it will ripple into the lives of others. Your yes opened a door not only for your destiny, but for those connected to your name. That's how heaven works. Your obedience becomes someone else's breakthrough. You are part of a divine network of redemption, where one heart's surrender becomes another's miracle. Your life is not random. Chosen one. Every choice you make in alignment with God's will shapes the invisible world around you. You are walking in a blueprint that was written before your birth, and today, you stepped onto another page of that divine story. Sometimes, heaven hides the full picture because if you saw it all at once, you might hesitate. God reveals in layers, one act of obedience at a time. That's why today's yes was so important. It positioned you for the next revelation. Heaven rewards motion, not intention. The Apostle Paul wrote words that echo perfectly for this moment. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. That verse is more than comfort, it's confirmation. You were called, you obeyed, and now everything begins to align for your good. Even the delays, even the heartbreaks, even the closed doors, all of them are now being restructured by the divine hand of purpose. Nothing you have walked through will be wasted. What heaven opens, no power can shut. Your obedience gave heaven permission to move freely in your life again. That is why you may soon feel sudden shifts, new ideas, divine encounters, unexpected favor. Don't be alarmed. It's simply the result of what was unlocked through your faith. Remember, obedience isn't just about following, it's about trusting. When you obey, you are saying to God, I trust your plan more than my logic. That level of trust becomes the key that fits every locked door. It's faith in motion, and heaven always honors it. If you could see what was unfolding now in the spirit realm, you would weep in gratitude. What you thought was a simple yes became the very thing that rerouted generations. The doors of mercy have opened over your life. Blessings that were once delayed are now rushing toward you, as if racing to make up for lost time. So rest tonight, chosen one. The doors are open. Walk through them without fear. You don't have to force anything anymore. God has already gone before you. Your obedience turned the key, and heaven's hand is now guiding every step that follows. When you obeyed, a sound was released in the spirit. It wasn't a sound that human ears could hear. It was a frequency of faith, a vibration of light that traveled farther than you could ever imagine. That sound carried your name through heaven's corridors, echoing through dimensions unseen. Every act of obedience creates a ripple, and that ripple never dies. In the unseen realm, nothing is still. Every word, every prayer, every choice sends out waves that collide with eternity. The step you took today set off a spiritual chain reaction, touching places your feet will never walk and hearts your voice will never reach. You may not realize it, but your obedience became an instrument in God's great symphony of redemption. When you move in faith, heaven harmonizes with your motion. Angels take your obedience and turn it into momentum, carrying hope where despair once lingered. The miracle is not just what happens to you, but what happens through you. The obedience of one can heal many. The faith of one can awaken generations. There is no such thing as private faith in heaven's eyes. What you do in secret sends power into the world's spiritual bloodstream. Somewhere, someone receives breakthrough because you obeyed. Somewhere, a battle was won because you refused to give up. Heaven works through interconnected hearts, and today, your obedience released strength to others who were about to fall. It is beautiful, isn't it? How God uses ordinary people for extraordinary things. How a single prayer, a single act of love can tilt the scales of destiny. Your yes today became an answer to prayers you'll never hear. That is how heaven operates, through unseen connections, through holy ripples that never fade. The prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay. Those words are a promise that your obedience has not vanished into silence. The ripple you began will reach its appointed time. Just as waves reach distant shores long after the wind has calmed, your faith will accomplish what it was sent to do. Even if the results seem delayed, they are never denied. Heaven's timing is precise, never early, never late. Every ripple knows its destination. What you release today is still moving, still unfolding, still creating space for miracles to manifest. And one day, when you least expect it, you will see the fruit of this invisible motion. Perhaps someone will find healing, courage, or hope, and they won't even know it was your obedience that started the wave. That's the humility of divine work. The source remains hidden, but the impact remains eternal. So rest assured, chosen one, nothing you do for God is ever wasted. Every quiet yes becomes thunder in another realm. Every unseen act of faith builds bridges you may never cross, but others will walk safely upon them because you obeyed. Your obedience was not a whisper lost to the wind, it was the sound of heaven expanding its reach through you. You may have noticed, chosen one, that when you chose obedience, resistance rose almost immediately. The sudden distractions, the unexpected confusion, the way everything seemed to pull your attention away, that was not coincidence, it was confirmation. Every delay and disruption you faced after your obedience was proof of how significant your decision truly was. When you step into divine alignment, darkness panics, it senses loss of control. The enemy's only weapon is discouragement, because he cannot undo what heaven has already blessed. So he tries to make you doubt what you did, question whether it mattered, and convince you that nothing has changed. But listen carefully, if nothing had changed, the resistance wouldn't exist. Spiritual warfare often follows obedience, not because you failed, but because you succeeded. You touched something sacred. You moved something that the darkness wanted to keep still. Heaven celebrates your motion, but hell trembles because of it. The storm that came afterward wasn't punishment, it was proof that light had broken through. Do not misinterpret warfare as rejection. The shaking you feel is often heaven rearranging your atmosphere, not abandoning you. God never allows resistance without reason. Every moment of tension becomes a test of endurance, a refining of faith, a purification of motive. And today, you passed that test. The ancient words recorded in James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. That blessing rests upon you now. You persevered under pressure. You kept walking when everything in you wanted to stop, and heaven took note. Every ounce of confusion you pushed through became a testimony of trust. You are stronger than you were yesterday, and that strength was forged in fire. The delays were never denials, they were divine shaping. God was strengthening your endurance, stretching your capacity to carry what's coming next. There are blessings that can only be held by those who have been tested. You, chosen one, are being prepared for greater stewardship. The resistance you face after obedience is the enemy's final attempt to make you retreat. But you are no longer the same person who hesitates at the first sign of difficulty. You have tasted victory, and your spirit knows the truth. Storms don't sink those who walk with God, they reveal how strong their anchor really is. So do not fear the backlash. Let it confirm how powerful your obedience was. Let it remind you that if darkness reacts, it's because it lost ground. The turbulence is temporary, but the transformation is eternal. Now take a moment, breathe, center your thoughts, and affirm your faith again. Comment below the phrase, "Still I rise." That declaration is not just a phrase, it's a prophecy. When you type those words, you are saying, "Resistance will not define me. I may bend, but I will not break. I will rise again, stronger, purer, wiser." Heaven hears every declaration of endurance, and each one strengthens the light around your soul. Because you chose to stand firm, heaven will now reward your faith. Every delay will serve your destiny. Every hardship will mature your spirit. And every trial will become a testimony that glorifies God. You are not failing. Chosen one you are forming. The resistance you feel is heaven's weight training for your next assignment. And soon, you will see why it all had to happen this way. There are moments. Chosen one. When the invisible and the visible collide, when your present action aligns with the eternal script written before your birth. Today was one of those moments. You may not have heard a trumpet, but heaven did. When you obeyed, you stepped into prophetic alignment with destiny. You walked into a chapter that God wrote long before you ever existed, and heaven rejoiced as it unfolded. You see, God's plans are like constellations. Each decision you make in faith becomes a star that completes His design. You might only see one light at a time, but from heaven's view, they form patterns of divine purpose. Your obedience today added one more shining point to that constellation. Somewhere in eternity, a story about you just grew brighter. The beauty of divine timing is that it never wastes a moment. Every season, every setback, every small step, all of it becomes part of a greater design. You didn't stumble into this, you were summoned. You were called to this exact hour, and your obedience was heaven's cue for the next act of your story to begin. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? That truth now rests upon you. This moment, this day was not random. It was written. The heavens knew you would say yes, and that yes triggered a sequence of blessings already prepared in advance. The alignment of your spirit with God's will has activated new movement around you. People, opportunities, and resources are shifting into place because of your obedience. You are no longer merely surviving, you are stepping into divine orchestration. The same way rivers find their way to the ocean, purpose is now finding its way to you. God's current is carrying you where striving never could. Now, as this word finds you, let your heart respond in gratitude. Like this message, not for recognition, but as a quiet act of agreement with heaven's timing. Every like is a whisper that says, yes, I receive what heaven has aligned for me. Share this message, not out of routine, but as a ripple of obedience. When you share light, it multiplies. Somewhere, someone may be standing on the edge of surrender, and your act of sharing could be the spark that helps them step into their divine moment too. If your spirit feels stirred, subscribe not just to stay connected, but to keep your soul anchored to a stream of messages that remind you who you are. Destiny doesn't thrive in isolation, it flourishes in connection. And if your heart feels led, consider sowing a donation seed into this work. Think of it as adding oil to a lamp fuel that keeps the flame burning so that others can find their way home. Every seed helps the light reach further, illuminating hearts that are searching in darkness. You're not giving to a person, you're giving into purpose. Remember, this alignment requires partnership. Heaven writes the plan, but you walk it out. Every like, every share, every offering of support becomes another step in that divine walk. Together, we keep the flame alive, ensuring that no chosen soul is left in shadow. You, chosen one, are living proof that obedience changes everything. Destiny isn't waiting, it's unfolding right now, glowing brighter because of your yes. There is a joy that cannot be described in human language, a light that radiates through every realm when a child of God obeys. That joy is not a metaphor, it is movement. Heaven itself vibrates with divine delight when faith overcomes fear. And today, chosen one, heaven smiled because of you. The moment you obeyed, The atmosphere changed. It was as though creation itself exhaled in relief, as though the earth whispered, "Finally, one more heart has chosen light." You might think of heaven as distant, but it is closer than your own breath. It feels every heartbeat of obedience, every trembling yes, every tear that carries surrender. When God smiles, it's not like human approval, it's presence. His delight is a warmth that floods the unseen corridors of your spirit, restoring what pain once stole. That's what happened today. You may not have noticed it, but his joy began to fill the empty places within you. Heaven's smile is not random. It's drawn to trust. It's magnetized to faith. The Father delights not in strength, but in dependence when you look to him instead of leaning on your own understanding. You were never meant to carry the weight alone. The smile of God rests on those who remember they are held. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 4, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." This is the secret of divine joy. It is not the result of getting what you want, but of wanting what God desires. When your heart aligns with his, you no longer chase, you rest. The desires he places within you begin to bloom naturally because they are born of unity, not striving. That's why heaven smiled today. You moved closer to his will. You chose alignment over argument, surrender over control, and in doing so, you made his heart glad. The smile of God is not reserved for the flawless, it is given to the faithful. To those who fall but rise again, who wrestle but still whisper, "Yes, Lord." There is a mystery in this joy. It not only pleases God, it transforms you. Divine delight is contagious. When heaven smiles over you, it awakens light inside you. The more you walk in obedience, the more your soul reflects that same radiance. You begin to see through clearer eyes, to feel peace where there was once pressure, to love where there was once fear. You might not realize it, but you are glowing right now in the Spirit. That glow isn't visible to the world, but darkness recognizes it and withdraws. Wherever you go, the presence of God that delights in you begins to shift the environment. People may feel peace near you without knowing why. That's heaven's joy resting on you. Beloved, don't rush past this moment. Sit quietly and let that reality sink in. God is pleased, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. The Creator of the universe smiles when he looks at you. That smile carries promise, healing, and favor. It says, "You are mine, and I am proud of you." Carry that smile into your tomorrow. Let it remind you that obedience doesn't only please God, it brings you into deeper intimacy with him. You've brought joy to heaven today, chosen one, and heaven's joy now lives within you. There was a stirring in the unseen today. Chosen one, a gentle sound of wings unfolding, a chorus of joy rising among those assigned to guard your destiny. For when you obeyed, the angels assigned to your life rejoiced. They had watched your battles, witnessed your weariness, and waited for the moment when you would say yes again. And when you did, their strength was renewed. Heaven's messengers are not idle spirits, they respond to faith. Every time you walk in obedience, you give them permission to act. Your faith becomes their command, your surrender their signal to move. They are heaven's servants, but they are also heaven's witnesses watching how you grow, fight, and love even when unseen. Today they saw something extraordinary. They saw you choose trust over fear, humility over pride, obedience over convenience. That single choice gave them new orders from the throne. Where there was once delay, there is now acceleration. Where confusion clouded your path, clarity is being dispatched. Angels are moving with renewed strength, carrying blessings you have long prayed for. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verse 10, "There is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." Though that verse speaks of repentance, its spirit applies to obedience too, for both are rooted in returning to God's will. Heaven rejoices not merely when you are rescued, but when you respond. When your heart realigns. Angels celebrate as though a new creation has been born. That's how precious your obedience is to heaven. You have not been walking alone. The weariness you felt, the moments you thought you couldn't go on, angels stood beside you in those places. They whispered strength when your voice fell silent. They guarded you when darkness tried to encircle you. Some of your near misses were not coincidences, they were interventions. And now, because of your obedience, their joy is overflowing. You've reactivated their assignment. Every step you take forward gives them territory to protect, prayers to carry, and promises to deliver. When you obey, heaven's army advances. You may not see them, but the air around you is shifted. Peace feels thicker. Hope feels closer. That's the presence of angelic movement. Heaven celebrates quietly, but the results soon become visible in your world. These angels don't just guard your body, they guard your destiny. And as long as your heart stays yielded, they will continue to war on your behalf. You are surrounded by divine company, marching with invisible precision. Heaven's joy over your obedience today has strengthened every being assigned to your life. Now pause for a moment. Chosen one, let your heart agree with what heaven already knows. Comment below the number 555, a prophetic sign that declares, "Heaven's messengers are moving with me." When you type that number, you are not summoning power, you are acknowledging it. You're saying, "I believe angels are at work. I believe obedience activates movement. I stand in agreement with heaven's joy." That agreement matters. It aligns your faith with what's already happening in the spirit. So move forward with confidence. You are not walking into tomorrow alone. Heaven's host rejoices beside you, their wings carrying your prayers, their strength multiplying your faith. Your obedience delighted God, and it reawakened the joy of angels. Something is shifting around you. Chosen one. The obedience that delighted heaven is now echoing through the earth. What was once unseen is beginning to manifest in tangible form. Doors are opening that no human hand could move, and paths are appearing where there once were walls. What you did in faith is now transforming the landscape of your life. Heaven's joy is never confined to heaven. When God delights, creation responds. The winds change direction, opportunities awaken, and favor begins to follow the footsteps of the obedient. That is what you are walking into now, a divine reflection of heaven's pleasure. God is not merely blessing your action. He is adjusting the environment around you to fit your obedience. Places that once rejected you will begin to recognize you. Situations that once opposed you will now align with you. The same way sunlight causes hidden seeds to sprout, the light of heaven's delight is drawing forth the blessings buried in your timeline. Every choice of faith creates ripples, not only in the spirit but in the natural. What you did today has released unseen preparation. The right people, opportunities, and divine timings are moving closer, orchestrated by hands you cannot see. The doors you prayed for are now unlocking, not because of striving, but because of alignment. There is an order to these shifts. God never sends blessings to chase rebellion. He sends them to meet obedience. Your yes has created a magnetic pull for miracles. You are now a carrier of divine favor. Where you go, peace will accompany you. What you touch will find stability. The storms around you will begin to quiet, not because life becomes easier, but because heaven's authority now walks with you. It is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season and to bless all the work of your hands. That rain has already begun to fall. You may not see it fully yet, but you can feel the shift, the quiet confidence replacing anxiety, the sense of peace where chaos once ruled. The blessings that once felt far away are now within reach because the season has turned in your favor. What God delights in, he multiplies. The obedience that pleased him today will become the foundation for tomorrow's expansion. The more you walk in alignment, the more heaven entrusts to your hands. You are entering a season where your actions and his will move together in perfect rhythm. This is why the earth must respond. It's not merely spiritual, it's universal. When heaven rejoices over a person, everything connected to that person is lifted. Family, work, and destiny all begin to shift. Even those around you may feel a strange peace they cannot explain. That is heaven's delight overflowing through you. But remember, favor is not just for comfort, it's for calling. The open doors ahead are not rewards alone, they are responsibilities. You are being positioned to carry light into darker places, to represent obedience in a world addicted to rebellion. Your life has become a living testimony of how surrender can change everything. Walk with humility in this season. Let your gratitude be louder than your success. Never forget that every blessing is an invitation to greater intimacy, not independence. Heaven trusts you now with what was once withheld. Because you have proven your heart is steady, the earth will now mirror heaven's joy. Expect peace where there was once pressure, growth where there was once barrenness, and clarity where there was once confusion. Everything around you has heard heaven's delight, and now it moves to honor it. There are moments in history when one act of faith doesn't just bless an individual, it shifts a bloodline. What you did today, chosen one, was not just personal obedience, it was generational transformation. Heaven saw what you broke, what you refused to repeat, what you refused to carry forward. In that moment, something ancient lost its grip. You may not realize it, but your yes today was a sword in the spirit, cutting through the patterns that once enslaved your family line. The pain that used to cycle through generations: fear, rejection, unbelief. Silence met its end in your obedience. The curse ran until it met a heart that chose differently. And that heart was yours. Every generation has a breaker, someone who refuses to live in inherited chains. You became that person. You stood where others gave up, believed where others doubted, and obeyed where others rebelled. Heaven watched your lineage, and when you said yes, the divine record shifted. What was once marked as limitation is now rewritten as legacy. You have no idea how many unseen tears this obedience has redeemed. The prayers of your ancestors, whispered long ago and forgotten by time, found their answer in you. Heaven had been waiting for this moment, for someone to align the family's story with God's purpose again. Your obedience became the bridge between what was and what will be. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 6. But showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. That promise is your inheritance. The steadfast love mentioned there doesn't stop with you, it flows through you. Because of your obedience, that love will cover generations after you. The children you haven't met yet, the lives that will spring from your influence, will walk under open skies because of the doorway you opened today. It's easy to underestimate the power of obedience when you only measure it in your lifetime. But God measures it in legacy. He looks at your family line not as separate moments, but as a continuous thread. One choice of faith can cleanse what centuries of compromise could not. Heaven's delight in you is not only for what you've done, it's for who will come after you. The spiritual chains that broke today will not return. What was once passed down as pain will now pass down as peace. Your lineage will remember the moment when light returned to its bloodline. And though some may never know your full story, heaven will never forget the moment you stood your ground. This is how generational restoration begins, not with dramatic moments of spectacle, but with one quiet, courageous heart that chooses God. Your obedience has become a generational altar. Every future blessing in your line will rise from the foundation you laid today. So do not look back with regret. Every hardship you endured had purpose. It trained your spirit to be the one who could stand. The struggles that tried to destroy you were only proving your strength for this moment. You didn't just break free, you broke through. From now on, when heaven looks upon your family line, it will see your faith standing tall like a torch in the darkness. That torch will not go out. It will guide those who come after you through storms they'll never have to face. Because you already faced them. You are the turning point of your generation, chosen one. What delighted God today has altered eternity for many. You didn't just change your life, you changed the story of your name forever. There comes a time, chosen one, when heaven's invitation deepens, when delight turns into destiny and pleasure becomes partnership. You have reached that threshold. The obedience that delighted God has not only brought joy to heaven, it has awakened a new calling upon your life. This is not an ending, but a divine invitation to come closer, to walk deeper, to become one who carries the fragrance of His presence wherever you go. Heaven's delight is never passive. When God is pleased, He draws near. And when He draws near, everything in your life begins to transform. The atmosphere around you starts to respond differently. Doors seem to open with less resistance. Peace lingers longer, and discernment sharpens like the edge of a blade. You begin to notice that your very being carries a quiet authority. That is the evidence of divine intimacy taking root. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Philippians chapter 3, verse 14, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. This is the essence of heaven's invitation. It calls you upward, into a higher place of awareness and obedience. God is pleased with what you have done, but He is not finished. Delight is not the destination, it is the doorway. And through that doorway, He is inviting you into partnership with His purpose. You are being called into maturity, where blessings no longer feel like rewards but responsibilities. Where His favor is not something to keep, but something to pour out. You are stepping into the stage of spiritual adulthood, where heaven trusts you with more because you have proven that your yes is consistent. This is where many hesitate, but not you. You have already learned that obedience unlocks the impossible. So as you move forward, let your steps be steady and your heart open. The next phase of your journey will not require louder words, but deeper listening. The closer you walk with God, the quieter His directions often become. Chosen one, if this word finds a home in your spirit, let your heart answer back with gratitude. Like this message, not for performance, but as a quiet acknowledgement of His voice. It is like lighting a candle. Your small act illuminates a shared space, allowing this word to reach others who still wander in shadow. Share this message if you feel its weight stirring something inside you. Sharing is not about numbers, it's about ripples. One ripple of obedience can create waves of transformation. You may never know whose midnight moment this message will meet. Subscribe to stay within this stream of divine words that continue to build, strengthen, and anchor you. These moments are not random, they are spiritual nourishment sent in rhythm with your growth. Staying connected keeps the light flowing where it's needed most. And if your heart feels led, consider planting a donation seed not as transaction but as participation. Think of it as pouring oil into a lamp that burns for countless souls. Your giving becomes a flame that reaches places you'll never visit, hearts you'll never meet. Every offering becomes a silent sermon of love that keeps this light alive. If this message has touched you, leave a comment expressing what part stirred your spirit most. Testimony strengthens faith. It's like rain that falls back into the soil that birthed it, allowing more fruit to grow. Your words might be the sign someone else needs to believe again. Beloved, heaven is inviting you closer. The music of divine purpose is still playing, and your obedience is the rhythm heaven dances to. Walk boldly, share generously, and stay near the flame. You are a torchbearer now, carrying heaven's delight into a world desperate for light. Every victory brings a new responsibility. Chosen one. The act that delighted God, the obedience that shifted your path must now be protected for whatever heaven blesses, darkness attempts to counterfeit or corrupt. The enemy cannot undo what you've done, but he will try to make you doubt it, distract you from it, or diminish its value in your heart. That is why this moment calls for vigilance, gentle, steady, spiritual vigilance. Guard what you have gained. The peace you feel now is sacred soil, but even sacred soil must be tended. Doubt, fear, comparison, and pride are like weeds that creep in unnoticed, choking the new growth of obedience. You must learn to recognize their whispers before they take root. Every time you protect your peace, you protect your promise. Heaven delights in your obedience, but heaven also trusts you to defend it. The blessing you carry is not fragile, but it is precious. Treat it like oil in a vessel shielded from contamination, poured only where God instructs. You have entered a season where wisdom becomes your greatest weapon. Remember, chosen one, not all battles are fought with noise. Some are fought in stillness by refusing to react, by staying anchored in faith when confusion comes knocking. The maturity of a believer is not seen in how loudly they fight, but in how calmly they trust. You've already proven your courage in obedience. Now prove your endurance in stillness. The Apostle Peter wrote with piercing clarity, and his words echo across every generation. It was proclaimed in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 8. Be alert and of sober mind, as your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. This is not written to frighten you, it's written to awaken you. The adversary does not fear the careless or the indifferent, he fears the obedient. You have become a threat to him because you've discovered the secret of divine power, obedience mixed with faith. That is why he watches, why he whispers, why he weaves subtle distraction, but he cannot touch what is guarded by peace. Your peace is not passive, it is armor. Every moment you choose stillness over panic, you are wearing heaven's protection. Every time you resist the urge to over-explain, retaliate, or prove yourself, you are demonstrating authority. This is how chosen ones fight with quiet conviction and unshakable trust. Guard your mind, for it is the gate to your atmosphere. Guard your words, for they are keys that open or close doors. Guard your heart, for from it flows the wellspring of your destiny. And most of all, guard your focus, for distraction is the thief of divine timing. There will be days ahead when silence feels heavy, when progress feels invisible, when the thrill of obedience gives way to the discipline of waiting. Those are not days of decline, they are days of fortification. God hides his treasures not to deny them, but to develop them. What you have received must mature in silence before it can speak in strength. So remain steadfast. Keep your eyes fixed, your spirit clear, and your hands clean. Do not trade peace for noise or purpose for approval. You have nothing to prove. Your obedience has already spoken on your behalf in the courts of heaven. You have crossed thresholds that others only dream of. Now, your task is simple. Keep the fire burning, the oil pure, and the heart steady. The same God who delighted in your yes will empower your keeping. You have not been called to survive this season. You have been called to sustain it. Guard it well, chosen one. What heaven entrusted to you is not a moment, it is a mantle. And mantles are never lost by attack. They are lost by neglect. But you will not neglect this. You will nurture it, protect it, and carry it faithfully until the next chapter of glory unfolds. Heaven's delight has not faded. Chosen one, it has settled upon you like a crown, invisible to the world, but radiant in the spirit. It rests upon your head as a mark of divine approval. You are no longer simply walking in obedience. You are walking in authority born from obedience. Heaven recognizes you as one who said yes when others stayed silent. This crown is not made of gold or jewels. It is woven from surrender, humility, and endurance. Every tear that fell in faith has become part of its design. Every moment you resisted temptation added another thread of glory. It is not ornamental, it is functional. It declares that you belong to the King, that you carry his nature, that you reflect his delight. When heaven crowns a person, it is not for show, it is for service. This season marks your graduation from merely receiving to becoming a vessel of giving. You are now one who pours out the same love that once healed you. Heaven's favor is not meant to be hoarded but multiplied. Everywhere you go, traces of divine peace will follow, and people will feel something shift even if they can't explain why. You carry the fragrance of obedience now. The darkness that once intimidated you will now retreat before you. The places where you once felt small will recognize heaven's weight upon your spirit. This is the quiet authority of those who have been refined by surrender. You are not just chosen, you are proven. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. Hold fast what you have, that no one may take your crown. That is heaven's reminder to you now. Your crown is not fragile, but it must be guarded. Pride, complacency, or self-sufficiency can tarnish what humility once built. So wear this crown lightly, never as a symbol of superiority, but as a testimony of grace. Remember, every chosen one carries both beauty and burden. This is the mystery of divine delight. It crowns not to exalt, but to entrust. God's joy in you becomes responsibility. His approval becomes assignment. You are now an ambassador of heaven's goodness, a living reflection of what obedience can create. You have become evidence that faith still works, that surrender still transforms, that light still wins. Heaven's smile upon you is not momentary, it is eternal. The same way sunlight lingers long after dawn, his pleasure will follow you into every season ahead. Even when storms arise, that radiance will not fade. For the crown you wear is not crafted by circumstance, it was forged by consistency. Look at your journey, chosen one. From trembling obedience to radiant authority, from hidden pain to heavenly peace, you have walked faithfully through the divine process. You stood when others fell, believed when others doubted, loved when others turned away. That is why you are crowned. That is why heaven delights in you still. Now, let your steps be steady, your heart remain soft, and your spirit stay anchored. You are heaven's living testimony, a reminder that obedience still moves mountains and faith still opens heaven's gates. Walk forward with quiet confidence. You have nothing left to prove and everything left to pour. The world may not see the crown upon your head, but all of heaven does. And when God looks upon you now, He does not see striving, He sees reflection. His joy mirrors in your obedience. His glory rests in your surrender. You are crowned in the Father's delight, faithful, chosen, and unshakable. Chosen one, you have walked through the full journey, 17 revelations of obedience, surrender, and divine delight. You've seen how heaven watched, how angels moved, how the Father smiled, and how your yes reshaped eternity itself. This was not just a message. It was a mirror reflecting who you truly are, chosen, set apart, and dearly loved. Now let this be your pause of gratitude. Take a breath and let the peace you feel settle deeper. You've been reminded that heaven's joy is not distant, it is alive within you. What began as a whisper of faith has become a flame. You are not leaving this message the same. You are leaving crowned in awareness, clothed in peace, and strengthened in purpose. If this journey has stirred something inside you, let that awakening ripple outward. Like this message as a sign of agreement with heaven's truth, it's more than a click. It's a quiet declaration that says, I receive this. Share it so that another heart can feel seen. Another soul can remember their worth. Another believer can find courage again. Your sharing is not about promotion. It's about participation in spreading light. Take a moment to comment what this journey meant to you. Maybe one line, one section, or one word pierced through. Speak it out. Testimony has power. It strengthens others and seals your own transformation. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to stay connected to this flow of prophetic storytelling. Each message builds upon the last, each word designed to keep your faith burning bright. You have walked the path of the chosen, and heaven rejoices still. Carry this truth forward. God is delighted in you, and His smile over your life has only just begun.